Hi Year 8s, welcome to today's YouTube clip on graphing equations. So we can use algebra to describe patterns. If pairs of numbers obey a pattern, you can describe that pattern using an algebraic equation, which can be graphed as a straight line or a curve. Equations such as y equals x plus 4 describe how pairs of numbers such as y and x are related. This equation means the value of y is always 4 more than the value of x. Or you could say y is equal to something, the x value, plus 4. Some of the pairs of numbers that would fit this pattern are, if x is 0, y would be 4. If x was 1, y would be 5. If x was 6, y would be 10, and so on. Once you get a series of coordinates, you can plot them on a number plane and join them together to form a pattern. Now you don't have to draw this, but that's an example of it. So they've graphed y equals x plus 4. We're going to go through how to do that now. Okay, so now we're going to try and graph the equation y equals 1 minus x. The first thing we need to do is construct a table that will help us to solve our equation. Now in this graph they've decided to use 0, 3 and 5. You can choose any x values you want. I personally like to choose 0, 1 and 2 as they're the easiest numbers to work with. So select 3 sensible x values along here. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to find out our y values. So to calculate the y value, so what they did here is they replaced the x in the formula or in the equation with the x in the table. So here they've done y is equal to 1 minus whatever the x value is, which was 0, and 1 minus 0 is 1. And that's how you complete the table. Okay, let's have a look at how they solve for the second coordinate. They've replaced the x with 3, so 1 minus 3 is minus 2. So the next coordinate is 3 minus 2. Okay, last one. I want you to have a quick go at this first before I put it in. 1 minus 5 equals what? Minus 4. Let's check it. Hooray, I got it right. Okay, next step after this is to then draw up an axis. Now normally we would I'll have some for you. You can see what they did here is then they plotted each of the points. So they plotted when x equals 0, y equals 1. When x equals 3, y equals minus 2. And when x equals 5, y equals minus 4. They've plotted the points, they put little dots down, and then they drew a straight line through it. Another important thing is to put little arrows on the end of it, which means that the line continues in both directions. So, I hope that you've got all of that written down. You need to have the steps as to how you found each of these values, as well as a quick drawing of this equation here. Okay, we'll have a look at another one in a sec. Okay, so we're going to have a go at another one. If you'd like to have a go at completing the table first, that's fine. Okay, so in this one here, the equation we're told is y equals 3 times x minus 2. This is a bit more complicated than the one we just did before. So I'm going to go y equals 3 times whatever x is, which in this case is 0, minus 2. So 3 times 0 is 0, minus 2 is minus 2. So that's the first one. Let's have a look at the next one. So y equals 3 times 1 minus 2. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 2 is 1. So when x is 1, y is 1. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So y equals 3 times 2 minus 2. So that's 6 minus 2, which is 4. And then lucky last one, y equals 3 times 3 minus 2 is 9 minus 2, which is 7. So that's the steps that you need to go through in order to complete your table. Okay, now let's have a look at plotting these points on our graph. So here's a Cartesian plane, or a number plane. Okay, we have our x-axis and our y-axis, and we're going to plot these points. So the first one is when x is 0, y is minus 2. So I'm going to put a little point there. When x is 1, so that's here, y is 1. That's across here, there. When x is 2, y is 4. So down to 2, up to 4. Oops, I can get a point. And when x is 3, y is 7. Okay, now I've plotted my points. I can draw a line between my points. Ooh, that wasn't very good, sorry. Yours will be a lot better because you can use a ruler. Unfortunately, I can't. And I'm just going to fix that. Okay, so there's my line. It's always a good idea to continue that line past the points that you have plotted, and it's also a good idea to put arrows on the end. That means that the graph is continuing in both directions. We're going to go through a few more examples tomorrow. I hope you have all the notes down, and I'll see you then. Bye.